It is a shame with the Social Freedom Tribe. Wanted to come at you today with a video on feedback. And feedback is not really something that we need to be afraid of. Like when I say feedback, like, oh no, what if somebody reacts in anger to something I said? Well, it's just feedback. If we see things as like we failed or succeeded, it's like a really black and white thing to label on something that really isn't failure. Like, we're not actually failing when we say something wrong or right. There's this whole like way of like labeling wrong, right, wrong, or failure, success, and it's just like a really subjective way of identifying different things. And if we like just drop that for a bit and just say, oh, this is what I did, and here was the reaction, then we can start seeing it as feedback, and we can start to like just really put ourselves out there and just see this whole feedback system, like this whole pattern recognition of when I say this is like when I said this 100 times, these were the results, and most likely it'll be this if I do it again. So like if I just keep doing this wrong thing, then after 100 times I could really memorize all these reactions that happen, all these things that happen, and if I start really paying attention to like what's going on with the other person, I could really actually see the feedback. And I really want to say that I really feel that we're all trying to help each other. Like when somebody else does something wrong to you and you're angry, don't like, are you really trying to like, I want them to like lose in life? Or are you actually just like, I want them to learn from this. I want them to see what is going on for me, and I want them to like not go through life keep repeating this thing that's making people angry. I want this person to like take in my feedback. So like it's probably that. I mean, at least I think that that's how I go through life, and I think I know a lot of people that do the same. It's just like, oh, this person like made me angry, and I just want them to know that this is what happened for me, like from something they said. I remember a friend of mine, a co-facilitator of mine, she said that she was talking to this painter. She really wanted to buy this $1,200 painting, and he knocked it down to $700. She was like, yeah, I really want to do this painting. And then he said, yeah, I got this painting from the thrift store for $10, and I just painted some wine glasses on it. And there's like this thing that happened for her, and she really just wanted to tell him. She didn't tell him, but she wanted, like later she talks about, she really wanted to tell him like a feedback of like, hey, this is what happened for me when you said that. Now here's what the thing is, if like here's what's happened if that person is unopen to feedback. They're gonna hear it and be like, oh, she's saying I failed, she's saying I was wrong, and they're gonna get defensive and all of that if they're unopen to feedback. But if they're just open themselves to feedback and just say, oh, that's what happened to this person after I said this, then they can be like, they can start using that and be like, I'm going to adjust my way of being, and I'm not going to say that I bought this thing for $10 at a thrift store when I'm trying to sell it for $700. And they're like, got it. And then if they really start taking in that feedback, that's like one small step towards making so much money. So much money. Like, just change that whole, like, don't say the whole $10 at a thrift store thing, and then you make more money. Like, you just make more money than you would have before, because we are all trying to help each other with feedback. And if we take it as like, oh, they're saying I'm wrong, and we get defensive and all this stuff, then we're really not opening ourselves up to all this feedback that could really help us make more money, get more love, get more recognition, and all these things that are just incredible. And it's not just ways of like when somebody explicitly tells you feedback. When somebody reacts in anger, that's feedback. When somebody just like any kind of facial reaction or response that somebody has is feedback. if we get out of our heads and we get out of like, okay, I have to do this and this, and like get out of this whole logical set list of like what we're saying, and we actually just like, we're talking and at the same time we're reading the other person, we're really like understanding what's going on for them. And if we're unsure, we're asking, hey, what I saw you made this face, like what's going on for you there. If you really focus and like really like pay attention to what's happening to other people, like while you're speaking, you'll have this immediate feedback and you'll just like grow super fast. I had this device that funny enough, you might think this is weird, but it's alright. I had this device that reads my heart rate variability when I meditate, and it's really cool because it's like, usually I've been meditating for many years, and basically like I'll spend an hour or so just sitting there, and I'll like focus on my breath and I'll focus on my body and things like that. And then I got this feedback system that basically it gives me different beeps depending on how present I am. And I can set the challenge level to different things, and there's like more complications to it. But basically, it'll give me a beep of like a low beep, a medium beep, or high beep, depending on how much coherence I have, or this thing that it's testing to see like with my meditation. And so then I'll be in my meditation, and I'll have some distracting stuff going on. Then it'll give me a low beep, and it'll kind of give me a jolt. And I'll actually like start getting more present, and the more present I am, like the higher the beeps it goes. So it's a really great feedback system. And like anytime like that I'm up here and then I switch back down, it's a jolt again, and then I'm like back up there, and it's amazing. I want it to tell me this feedback. I don't want it to be like, hey, stop telling me feedback that, and let me just keep having terrible meditations. Not terrible, but less effective meditations that aren't suiting me as well. I bought it to give me feedback. That's what it exists for, and it gives me immediate feedback, just like the facial expressions of another human being when we're speaking. Like right now, I don't have this feedback system. It sucks. I wish I could actually see you guys to see like, oh, they're excited. Most people are excited when I say this. Most people are angry when I see this. Most people are just like tuned out when I say this. It's this amazing feedback that we can get. And so, and I see people that are cut off from like looking and seeing the faces and like what's going on with their listener. And it's just so sad to me, because like this person will be in a long monologue, and like I'm getting disengaged, and I can just tell they can't tell what's going on with me. They're not looking at my face. They're not looking into my eyes. They're not seeing what's going on for me. And it's really sad. It's just terrible, because it's like that person's just going through life, and people are just disengaged whenever they're around them, and they're not really like connecting. They're not getting that love and recognition and money from like what could really happen from just like this growth from feedback. Anyways, I hope you get some great feedback today. I hope you pay attention to some faces and to some body language. And if you're not unclear, I hope you ask like, what's going on for you? I saw you made this thing with your mouth. What happened there? And just start like trying to like understand what's going on within other people's worlds when like they're around us. I love you guys, and have an amazing day.